morning. Welcome to Banter with Richie B Live.
Somewhere beyond the beaten path, beyond the whispers in the woods and the stories around the fire, lurks one of the greatest mysteries of our time, Bigfoot. For decades, legends have echoed through the forests, footprints left behind, sightings that defy logic, and questions that demand answers. But this isn't just folklore. This is a call to investigate, to explore, and to uncover the truth. Banter with Richie B isn't just another show. It's a community, a movement, a hub for genuine research, real conversations, and boots-on-the-ground discovery. Every episode dives deep into evidence, expert interviews, field investigations, and the drive to seek what others say is impossible. If you believe in asking questions, if you're ready to get your boots dirty, and if you think the unknown deserves more than just a passing glance, then follow Banter with Richie B. Stay informed, stay sharp, and maybe, just maybe, be the one who finds the truth hiding in the trees.
I love you, baby Jack. I want you guys to keep climbing. I love you, Mama. Bojo's gonna get us out of here because that's what he does.
That's right. Hey, nice meeting you all. Thank you for being on there. And yes, we are home of the phone. Let's go.
Well, I never put my slide out there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Banter with Richie B. That's right. I sound a little more normal today. I'm getting there. I'm getting healthy. You know what I mean? I don't know where everybody is. That's okay. I'm just putting this out there for recording and hanging out for a little bit. And it's more of a discussion today. Wojo doesn't even know what the hell we're doing here, probably. I didn't really told him, but I got into my curious mind today, and as my other creative friends and creative thinkers, we'll be here for a little bit. I'm sure people will pop in. I'm not worried about it. I got into my little curious creative mind today, right? Starting to feel a little better. The fog's clearing. I had for the record, I guess, I had a very bad sinus infection and a middle ear infection. So it was down in here. It was really deep. She didn't know why I didn't feel the pain as much and came in earlier, but I had sick kids, and they came first, and I wasn't really paying attention to myself. I was just dealing with it. But thank you for everybody who sent their well wishes, But welcome to Banter with Richie B live for a 5:30 pop-in. Tonight at 9 p.m., by the way, we have Sam's Pretty Paranormal Podcast, and she has director, producer, creator, family businessman Jody Dean tonight. Jody Dean has he creates and makes and puts out there indie movies, horror indie movies, and I believe Sam has died twice in his movies. And her husband, I think, once too. They got slaughtered. But anyways, no, really cool filmmaker. Check him out if you're into the horror / stuff. You know what I mean? If that's your thing, then definitely go check him out. I got some good friends of mine, Hackstab / actually over right here in my town. It was my mailman. We became friends, but I'm trying to link those two up because he reviews horror movies. My mailman reviews the horror movies, and they have a podcast, so it's a perfect fit. So that's what we do, man. Yeah, there's a few people here. We're going to hang out. I have an interesting topic. I feel it's interesting. I hope you do too. I wanted to look into a little bit more of Gilgamesh. Why you say Gilgamesh? Well, I was looking back at the origin of Bigfoot. The origin of Bigfoot, right? Because we've been so caught up in all this chaos and craziness with lights and things going on and other things kind of distracting us. I wanted to get back to the meat and potatoes of why we're here. I wanted to get back to the feet, the vocals, the physical aspect of what's going on. I've reached out to a couple of people. One of them is pretty well known on the West Coast, and He's one of the indigenous people over there towards the peninsula in Washington, in that area. And they just don't buy into any of the woo or anything like that. They're physical, and they see him on a regular basis, and they share the land. They still see him and share the land with him, and all that stuff. Hear him talk. It's no big deal. They talk about Bigfoot being kind of nonchalant and just like, hey, what's up, and just walk by or something. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I've checked out a lot of his stuff and his work, and I've been following him. I do that. I follow people kind of quietly in the background like a creeper. And I really, really like that theory, and I kind of want to get back to it. So where did this all start? Where did this all begin? Why are we having these conversations? Why are we having the type of interactions that we're having? I want to know, why is that? When did it change? They believe that, when I say they, it's the gentleman I've been speaking to. I don't really have his permission to put him out there. I mean, he is out there publicly. I guess I will at some point, maybe in this broadcast. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to have a conversation about that. And I'm going to pull up some stuff, and kind of on air, organic research. So I'm going to share some screens. I want to, you guys can look into some, Gilgamesh and his Bigfoot or hairy man friend. That's 3,000 years ago, and the indigenous people on the West Coast in the Washington area, talk about 10,000 years, 10,000 years. And that he does agree one point with me that they are the first humans. They were here before us. They're a lot smarter. Like I think Wojo has brought up in the past about them bringing up more brain capacity and using it, things like that. But he does not believe in any abilities, mind speak, lights, nothing, dude, nothing. It is straight up physical being, first human being. What's up? That's it. We're known as the second humans to them, these small hairless beings, I guess is the way he kind of put it. So yeah, very interesting. So I'm gonna get Wojo in here. We'll say hi to the few that are here. The ones that aren't here probably working. Everybody has different time zones and things like that. So yeah, who knows? It's an impromptu type of thing. And I want to emphasize 9 p.m. tonight Eastern time, Sam's Pretty Paranormal Podcast. We're going to be here for a little while today, and having a discussion. I want you guys to partake. If you want to come in on screen and maybe make a point or some knowledge that you might know, I'll drop a link in the chat, and you're welcome to do that. Moderators, if you are here, if anybody is here, keep an eye out for anything, funky like that, because I haven't done that in a long time, but I want to do that. If you want to come in and have a conversation, take 10 minutes and be part of it and jump on screen and, tell us your point or some knowledge you might know about the topic of the origin of Bigfoot. Not the lights in the woods, not any of that stuff, just not dismiss the woo, but just put it on hold for right now. I want to get back to the origin. So, at least for today, right? So I will be dropping a link in the chat area. If you feel comfortable enough to come in and share your point or have some of this conversation with us, you are welcome to do so. And that's what we're going to do. So let's get Wojo in here, because here we go. Yeah.
Hey,
Put down the brownies.
oh, what's up, guys? How's it going?
What's
Sorry.
up? We got no. That's all right. We got a small crowd here tonight, so that's good. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like those quaint conversations that we get to have. And I didn't discuss why I wanted to do this today. What the fuck is going on over there?
Sorry, just playing with my balls.
Oh, okay.
Golf
You want
balls.
to? Golf balls. Okay. Dude,
we haven't seen these. I need them.
Nice. Yeah, we haven't seen ours in a long time, bro. Those things are buried under snow and water. I can't wait to see those things again and have all this water and moisture go away and just have peat moss to work with,
Exactly.
Well, let's say hi to everybody, and then we'll get on with what I want to discuss. And you can do the same. I know you're on your phone, but you know what I mean? If you can, I don't care if you come and go, if you want to look up things, but I'm going to share the screen. And I didn't go through, like picking out things to discuss, but the main thing I wanted to talk about was the origin of Bigfoot. putting away the woo for a little while, right? Getting back to the physical, getting back to the nitty gritty, the beginnings, the basics, so to speak, right? And I told you that a long time ago. If we stayed there, then things would happen. Remember that conversation? If we just stayed with what we're finding, then anything else will happen, right? And I believe me, a lot of anything else has happened, right? So let's say hi to everybody. A small crowd. It'll be quick. I know Gene was in here first.
Real quick before you say hi, I'm sorry, but what made you like bring this up? Because I have a point. That's why.
Well, I was just laying in bed, and I was just, I said I want to check out some Bigfoot stuff, and I was like, I was kind of burnt out on all the lights and all the woo and all that stuff, and I was never a big proponent of it in the beginning, anyways. But I had evidence in front of me I had to go with. And I reached out to the West Coast people that I talked to. Sasquatch Salish, Sarah and her husband, John. And I haven't heard back from them, but I've spoken to her in the past about this stuff. And another gentleman, I'm just going to say his name, Tom Seward. Very, very, a lot of people know him. He's of the indigenous tribes over that way. And he has a lot of experience. He has his own museum and things like that. And he's just, I just reached out to him. I didn't expect anything back. And he kind of got fired up because I brought up the woo, you know what I mean? He was like, put that shit away and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's pretty to the point, and I through the text, I didn't think he understood what I was kind of saying. I wasn't 100% on everything, but I'm dealing with, I'm 100% on what I'm seeing. I'm not 100% on what is behind what I'm seeing. I'm right. Kind of stuck. So I wanted to get back to the origins. So the conversation with him helped.
Bringing that up. Yeah. I like that. I like that you brought that up, because I was kind of like having a mini discussion a few hours ago with one of my friends from Georgia. And, he's a Christian fellow. And I was just talking about like where I'm at. Where are we right now? And why are they here? And trying to figure out their origins. Like, where did the Bigfoots come from initially and all that stuff? So I find it blown away that you're bringing this up, and I love it. I mean, and actually he was very intrigued of what I was saying about things in the Bible, a lot of things are not in the Bible, things like that. Okay. So, but anyways, we have a lot of us. Let's say hello to everybody.
All right, cool. No, I love it. It's good. On the same page as usual, brother. Let me hide that message. Let's see. Ghost Cats and Cryptids is here. She's over on X, by the way. You can follow her on X and Facebook. I believe. Are you on YouTube yet, Gene? I don't know. But she's here. And March 22nd, she has the Vogel brothers coming in to sit down with her. Nice. I'm very excited. I was trying to get permission from her and Sam to see if I could make the thumbnail. Because I have a lot of pictures of the Vogels in our woods. And I think I could make a pretty good thumbnail for them with their Critter Fest and the Critter Cobble Mountain Critter, what I'm trying to say, I'm talking about their foundation and their work that they do and things like that. So I just said it out loud for the first time. I didn't ask them formally, but there you go, Gene and Sam, if you're out there, I would love to make that thumbnail. I would make it this week even, so because I'm sure my OCD gets crazy with thumbnails. I don't know if you noticed. But yes, hello. And then Curious Cryptid, hello over there in the UK, as she says, good evening.
Hello, lovely.
It's good evening for us. I believe it's morning time for her. And then we have, I thought it was 12 hours. 12 hours.
No, that's Japan.
That's right. It's 5 hours. Yeah. I got lost. I forgot what country I was in. Tante Elder, sorry if I missed your lives lately. I've been letting the antibiotics work through my body. Let's see. Tyler, what's up, Tyler, for 2022? Familiar date.
Roll a dogger.
Just got home from work. Good. Have a sit down and get those nuke something gross and enjoy the show, right? D-Hooch here. Glad I'm on the mend. Yes, I'm getting there. I've been saying today I'm about 75 or 80%. I've been feeling better. Our boy Denny O, by the way, I'm going to put something up throughout this broadcast as well. They have a nice charity, and they're raising some money for Ella's Army. So I want everybody to kind of know about that. So we're going to do a little something for that too today. Hey, let's go. Damian Wyatt, what's up? Hey, cool to catch you live. Just got home, been splitting wood all day. Beautiful here in Pittsburgh, PA. Yeah, we got a couple of nice days coming and we all earned it. Kurt W. I'm getting there, man. I'm talking and I'm breathing okay, so seemingly. So appreciate that, Kurt. Good to see you, man. So Gilgamesh is one of. Let me check, just make sure no one else came in because I see some people talking about the topic that I have. I think that would be great. Okay, good, Gene. Yeah, I'd be honored to. They're my friends, and we love them like family. And we haven't seen them much lately, but we always love getting out with the Vogels, man. It's always an honor and a privilege. So if Eric and Tim, you're out there, I'll be making your thumbnail for Gene's show, and I hope you like it, man. Maybe we can get those guys. Probably deserve a video, man. They've been around long enough. So yeah, 5. Yeah, I curious. I figured out where I was. Well, I figured out where you were, anyways. So yeah, so if you're out there listening, X, we're live on X. We're going to be regularly live on X when it comes to getting back in the woods. We do have some 60-degree days coming, so we're hoping possibly Monday. We'll see. It's all about the area being plowed out, and I was able to get in there. Excuse me. I'll try not to do that too much, but it gets tight. So when we go live, we will be on X. If you get yourself a little ghost page or something where you don't like X or something, but just log into it and just you don't have to do nothing on it. Just watch. I don't pay attention to any of the political bullshit, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. I just don't. It's just so tiring and exhausting.
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll say shut the fuck up, but other than that, I don't bother. It's just really silly. So yeah, that's not what we're about and not interested in. And X is just like YouTube. If you have YouTube, it's the same thing. And you're not supporting the conglomerate because the conglomerate don't need you. You're supporting us, and that's important. We want you here. We want you as part of our family, and we need the support. Especially after what YouTube did to us and things like that. It just really threw a wrench in things, and things were looking up. We were earning our own way, and you guys were helping as much as you could, and and now it's like, oh God, what do I do? You know what I mean? So we're kind of like, I've had some help, man. We've had some great donations from some great people. So don't get me wrong. There's still something in the coffin to pay for things. And, but yeah, so very nerve wracking to have somebody that calls it a partnership just not be a partner and just not warn you or nothing and just shut you off with no explanation. Well, an explanation that was completely ridiculous, but to call us inauthentic is absolutely silly. You've seen how we're live on their platform. So, and 90% of what I post is from their lives on their platform, grainy, shitty, kicked off and all that. And it's just an insult slap to the face. So get on over to X and please join us. Again, we need you and we love you and we want you there. So Facebook and of course, right now we're on Sam's YouTube, we're on my YouTube, both of our Facebooks and my X. So get on over there. You'll see the scroll across the bottom for any kind of donations that you could possibly do through Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. Working on the coffee one. I got to link it up. I just haven't done it yet. No big deal. But those are the ones you'll see at the bottom of the screen. $1, $5, whatever you can goes towards, research and obviously keeping the show going. So it just makes it a lot easier. And we're truly grateful. And you guys are part of our team. So we love having you. I do want to do a show coming up in the next month or two, probably by June. I want to invite everybody on the side, as many as we can get in. I think I can seat 10 in here. And just do a virtual researcher one. We haven't done that in a while. I think we did 2 of them before, and I'd love to do a third with a new group of people that are here that would be willing to come in and sit down and talk about what we see and what we find. So, but on to today's topic. Obviously, by the way, go to the merch store. I've made some socks, man. I made socks. You got to check out the socks. I love socks. So real quick, I have many socks, right? I have, this is my Jack socks, right? I can't turn my foot that way, but there's Jack right there. And then I love odd socks. So now what I just started today was making odd socks. So we have pairs of odd socks that I'm making in the merch store. So one will have say your logo, one will have my logo, just for an example. Others will have pieces of our evidence on the socks, but they won't match. They'll be odd socks because I love odd socks. Like this is Thor. right? See, so I got Thor and Jack on my feet. I love them, and I own about 83 pairs of shoes, but that's a different subject. I used to own 96, but mold got some of them. I put on my shoes every time I put on my shoes. I have to like break them in again, you know. But Mooncat came in, by the way. I see Mooncat came in. Your electric socks too. Yeah, no, check them out, man. Their socks are cool. I don't know. They had them at $15.50. I marked them down as far as I could, so the show would get a little something. You know what I mean? But $13.75 is for a pair of custom socks. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. If there's something that you want on the socks, I could put them on the socks for you. So if you have an idea of what you want, a piece of your evidence or a logo that you have, right? Just send your logo to me. I'll put it on. I'll tell you when it's on, and then you go buy your socks. That's all. Boom, done. You know what I mean?
Maybe we should do a D-hoot and just have a cowboy hat and boots.
Oh, and a pistol.
Yeah, well, you have to have the pistol.
Yeah, we'll have a pistol shape. We'll have a wrench.
Plenty of rounds.
We'll have a wrench with a trigger. You know what I mean?
Tyler can have hot dogs, you know. Yeah, we get all that.
Yeah, we'll get the hot dog roller and shit. That'll be great.
Yeah.
A big fatty.
Oh, Jesus.
Have some Mary Joanna.
Brownies.
Yeah, no, the socks are awesome. I love socks. I don't know. I just love socks. It's an art thing for me. I even told my girl a long time ago I want to have a sock store. She's like, what? I said, I want to have a store that just has socks. She's like, really? I said, yeah, imagine all the socks you could design, man. Right? Mm-hmm. You could have like an odd sock bin. You know, you make all these socks and you throw them in a bin and people can come out and match up what they want. You know what I mean?
Everybody's doing that.
Yeah, why do you want? I've never worn matching socks. I come from a poor family. Don't get me wrong. We had cardboard insoles at one point. You know, you knew you weren't getting new shoes, so you found a piece of cardboard and cut them out and put them in there so the water didn't get, for a little while. Anyways, yeah, that's a real one. And then we had the flappers in the front, the big flappers. You know what I mean? And we go find the super glue or whatever we could to put it back together. Okay. Anyways, that's enough about that. I love socks. So go over to merch store and check it out. And there's a ton of new stuff. I think I alone within the last couple of weeks put 20 new items in that store. I can't stop. My creative mind loves it. It's just I love designing. So that's where we're at. But the topic today is what I want to discuss, man. It's something that today it just hit me hard. I just was like, man, I kept having to pick the image of the silhouette of that dude in front of me. I just wish I saw him the day that event took place to where I could just talk. I was talking to him, Kirk W. My socks never match either. I just find some and throw them on, and I like the longer socks as well. Oh, I love longer socks. Yeah, I got to grab a pair from you guys. Elder Medicine in San Francisco. There's a store in the tourist area, nothing but socks. See that? See what I'm talking about? My store would be just called the Odd Socks. You know what I mean? But we'd have matching pairs. But I just, I think you should just come in and, for maybe $3 a piece or something, whatever they go for nowadays. I don't know, whatever you can get for them, I guess, and just pick into the bin and match up your own socks and leave. And you pay by the sock.
Oh my God! Excuse me.
I would just love it, dude. You could do so many things with socks. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna have collaboration socks where one sock has two things on it, like I did with the coffee cup. So maybe you have like the Ernie Davio collection on the back and. Banter Richie B on the front. Just mix it up and have fun with it. It's and I'm gonna find other sites too where I can design them and then bring them into the store. So
maybe like jean socks, have a big cat paw, and Sam will have like a makeup kit or something.
Yeah, I'd wear them. They should have their own stores. They already know that. And I believe they do. So they can, I can show them how to do it, and they can do it. I just love socks, dude. I love accessory shit, weird accessory stuff. Sneakers too. I'd love to design sneakers, dude. I once went on the Vans app a long time ago, and the strange thing is Max, when he was in kindergarten in North Carolina, he painted what was it, Jack Skeleton and his dog Max, and the way he made it was so cool, like a little kid, that I was able to go into the Vans store and put it on a pair of Vans sneakers because they allow you to do that. It looked absolutely freaking insane, just ridiculous. So, yeah, oh my God.
I left my heart.
Bigfoot struck again. I stepped on my own damn air cord. All right, let's get going, man. Let's talk about the origin of Bigfoot. Anything you got to offer today, come on into the studio. Come on in and sit with us. I'm going to put the link out there for this right now. Yeah, Socks at Spencer's were great. That's kind of where I got the idea, because I would go in there for hours and look. So, if you want to come in, just click the link. No need to knock. I'll let you in. As long as I know you. If you're some weirdo out there on the internet not interested, if you're one of those, creepers that don't like us in the background, perhaps from a different part of the world, then not interested. Keep creeping.
Spencer's was such like an oddity store, which I loved because the posters, I used to like just sit there and flip through the posters. I mean, it was just so like so unique and badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. I don't know. I got hooked on them, man, and them and sneakers. So I'm actually known around softball for my socks, because I wear different socks all the time, and everybody goes, "What kind of socks you got on?" And then
I know you did.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't care. I know. I didn't want to on screen, so mind your business.
No. I'm talking about what you wrote, because I read it. I'm like, I go, what does he have today? Oh, the Wojo, the cuddly co-host.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's my. That one you're talking about. Yeah, cuddly co-host. Yeah. That's what I had on your show the other night too. Nobody noticed it.
No.
So, because I'm on my meds, I got to eat my yogurt for my probiotics. Keep that because it'll bother it'll kill the good stuff in your belly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this discussion. I mean,
what do you know about Gilgamesh? You ever hear of him? It's all right if you haven't.
I heard of the name, but I don't know. Right. I don't know. So you can enlighten me.
So I have good. That's great. I'm glad. Let's see. So I got a bunch of stuff up here, right? Let's see. Gilgamesh. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, Dihu, you're correct. It's Enkidu, I guess is the way you say that, right? So, and my point is, guys, it's in the Bible, yes. If you want to go further back, or even, I don't know, or before the Bible, actually. So 3,000 years, man, is a long time. And to think of them around here for 10,000 years, with all this is the stuff that doesn't get pulled forward as evidence. Since when do we, as the human race, not go back into actual archives, historical archives, and deem that as somewhat truth? So, when you go to church, there's the Bible. It's a history book, right? So, and I'm not trying to downplay the Bible. I'm just saying, if you look at it as, with all the extra stuff kind of brushed away, it's a book of history. We go by it. So why don't we go by stuff that has been documented? I don't understand. You have the Mayans, you have all these different cultures, that have all this stuff, Vikings, everything else that was written. And some of it we go by, well, I heard that story. Oh, I heard that. Why don't we bring it to the forefront of our research when it comes to Sasquatch, right? Satunga, right? Why don't we have that conversation? I don't understand why it's not included. And I know, and I'm talking amongst the people that believe or the know or whatever that do this research. Why isn't this part of the conversation? I don't understand it. That's where you trace the origin. That's what it's called. You're tracing, right? So you're tracing, skip tracing, like they used to find people, right? Same type of thing right here. Why aren't we diving deeper into other people's thoughts and theories? And hell, Wikipedia, for Christ's sakes. I mean, think of what you want politically or whatever about that site, but it has a lot of good facts. It has a lot of good facts. And I think it's something that should be spoken of. And whenever you speak of Gilgamesh, somebody that's a known living person that we have historical documentation on, says he had a friend with there was a hairy man. They were best friends. That they were like best friends. That's what they were, and that's how they describe it. So let me pull something up here. Oh, I didn't figure an ancient wartime comrade. Yeah. So here we go. I'll do this with you guys. I'm going to do a little bit of reading today, and I don't mean to bore you, YouTube, with reading and all, but if you've seen some of the shit you have on your site, you shouldn't, mind some reading. At least I'm not nasally, so because that would be bad. Gilgamesh was a giant, I believe, but I don't know too much. Right, this is my point. Right, here's a guy that's in it. I never finished the Epic of Gilgamesh, but I fully believe giants did exist at one time, right? Huwawa was compared to an ogre, so he was a big guy. So yeah, you guys are making my point that we know of it. We know about it. We have to have some kind of believability when we read it. Why? Why would a story of this detail make it through so many centuries? Why? How does that make it through there? This isn't stuff that some guy sat down and wrote a book. This is historical documentation about Gilgamesh, right? So why are we doing this? Why? It's like I'll say it like this. I feel always comes back to money. It's like a cure for cancer, right? God forbid we find that the pharmaceutical companies would be out of business. Again, not to get political. I'm using it as an example. If we find Bigfoot, he's hanging around our house and he's coming over for a barbecue and stuff, this is all gone. This is all gone. Now, all those money mongers, like that 4-letter word that puts out expeditions and makes you pay for them. And I think one's coming to Central Mass, by the way. So, yeah, I'm the one that wants money and fame, but they want to take people's money to bring them out in the fucking free woods and show them around for Bigfoot. If you're paying for that, stop. That's nonsense. Just stop. Full stop. Brakes on. Nobody should be charging you money to bring you out into the free woods. Just go out there for yourself. You'll see oddities, and then you follow it. That's it. Don't go paying these monkeys freaking money to bring you into the woods. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know he's here. Shut up, dude. What a bunch of morons. And then they're the same people that are shit on actual researchers, talking about them wanting to get famous, because they got a podcast and rich. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck you talking about? You literally take people's money. They sign up for like $200, $400, depends. $400 sometimes to go out with them in the woods. The woods, bro. It's not private property, just the woods. That's complete insanity. That's why we don't look up shit like this and try to get to the actual facts. They want to keep it dangling like a carrot for decades. And they use the tool of shitting on people and belittling them and making them seem fake in order to knock it back a few years. Because God forbid somebody's onto something. God forbid somebody actually tells a real story, and sees somebody regular. God forbid somebody has a clan, right? Imagine that. The moneymakers don't want to. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? That was not a last name. That was just a term. The moneymakers don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want to make money. Right? So if you have a clan visiting you, imagine having a clan visiting you all the time, and you suddenly charge people money to come over your house and sit with them. What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Well, because they claim that all the woods throughout the country is theirs. I mean, like they're the very first researchers, and yet we all have stories. You guys have stories that's happening in your backyards and whatever. But yet, if they come and swoop in and they'll just say, no, that didn't happen and all that. But yet, at the same time, they're whispering to each other, yeah, we'll come back here tomorrow when they're not home.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll claim it that it's theirs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If they find evidence. That's
case in point. Once we got Massachusetts flowing over here, you and me and the Vogels and Tinsley and New England going, right? PDA and all our team, Denny, and we got it hot over here. All of a sudden, we're doing documentaries. What documentaries are you doing? Interviews? Interviews are not documentaries. They're interviews. They're personal experiences. The very thing that you shit on people about, you want to put on a screen and say, oh, no, this is true because we're telling you, because we're putting it out here. So now it's true. But if that person over there independently tells you something, he's a faker. $400, I'll bring you in the woods and show you. Like, come on, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? What a clown show.
Because you're coming through the horse's mouth. You're coming through like actual researching, which you guys have been watching, okay? But we're not going through like, we talk to people and let them talk about their experiences. We're not claiming nothing because again, that's going to a second party and then possibly a third party, and that's not how it goes in my eyes. You know, and these guys just want to claim what's theirs is not because they're going by other parties. It's crazy. I never heard such a thing. It's just
it's so bizarre.
They're trying to shut you down.
Yeah, it cost me more than $400. I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't even know the numbers, and I don't mean to bring up any PTSD either, by the way, because people don't always have good experiences hanging out with that asshole. So, sorry, I had an itch in my eye. I don't care. I'm not scared. Crypto Warbird, welcome in. We're having a conversation about the origin of Bigfoot. We want to know why those things aren't brought out more. Why don't we discuss the history of giants or the history of the Sasquatch, Satunga? Why don't we know that? Why don't we know the history of it? There is a history, guys. There is a history. And everybody will go, oh, well, it's a creature like it. We don't know if it's actually connected. Well, none of us met Jesus either. So again, sorry, I'm not trying to downplay religion. I'm talking about it in a historical form. You have no problem talking about that, right? But you can't talk about the actual origin of the first people on Earth. You can't find out how we got here, right? Like you say, there's history before Jesus. There's history of the Earth before Jesus. Why do we stop there? It seems like 90% of it stops there. I believe in God, 100%. I believe in Jesus, 100%. That is not what this is about. I also believe in Mother Earth and the creators, all that stuff. I believe that there was somebody, yes, in charge in the creation, sure. But other things had to be created. So when were they created? Why do we stop there? What about before that? That's what I'm talking about. We don't do this. And I think in our day and age, most of the block is finances. Most of the block is the money game, right? And I'm not going to beat that horse, but yeah, Tyler, they're coming out your way, I guess, sometime. Somebody needs money, I guess. I have no idea. Or they want to try to, bully fellow researchers in the area. So people say I shouldn't talk about this stuff, but I don't really give a shit.
Well, I could just say for them is good luck. You ain't shutting me up.
Well, and plenty of people play along with it, and they think that that's the mainstay, and that's the only one to go to. And if they say it, it must be real. You know what I mean? They're just the same as us, dude. They don't have anything different than we do. They don't have anything. What do they have different than we do? They have personal experiences.
Yeah,
right.
That's it.
I don't see video. I don't see a video. Mr. Jesus over there didn't get anything on video. I don't understand it. So much so that there was a show made and they still didn't get anything on fucking video. So I don't understand why, because they were in the public eye on a network. That's the only that makes you a better researcher. What are you talking about, dude? When's the last time you put peanut butter on a gifting chair? You know what I mean? When's the last time you got a recording out of the woods from peanut butter on a gift? When's that? When did that happen?
These are so-called professionals, Rich, right? Well, we're not professional, but they are. And my thing to them is fine. The one thing, maybe you've seen one. That's fine. I know what I saw. I know what you saw, but we can't,
Yeah, I don't present it as evidence.
Right. But my point is that are you having a relationship with yours? We do. Why are you jumping around around the United States to listen to other people's stories, which is fine. I mean, I love hearing other people's stories, trying to, what's going on other people's ends, what part of the states or world. But if you see something and hear something and you're seeing data, why would you want to move around? And this is why we're learning as we go. And like I said, it's just, do they know that they're spiritual, Rich?
I
Probably
don't
not.
think. I don't think they take it that way. I don't think they take it that way. I really don't. I honestly think that it's a money grab, and that's all they take them as. And that's that. I can't see beyond that. I tried. I even invited one of them out with me. Did never acknowledge me until he shit on me. So I don't understand it. Like, why didn't you want to come out? Were you afraid that what I was finding would prove things that you couldn't prove, and it would hit your cash cow right in the dick? You know what I mean? Like, well, why? What was your you have no reason, not knowing me, you have no reason to do what you did. No reason, dude. The only reason is money. Period. You don't want somebody to crowd in on your money. And now that we have a network around the area, completely surrounded the area, all of New England is covered, including Gene Tewksbury in Maine, right? All of it's covered. We network and we talk. They don't want that. They want to be the go-to. And that's the problem. That's one of the main problems today. Taking advantage of capitalism is disgusting. It has a system for a reason. Stop screwing with it, all right? Pisses me off. And now we're in a subject that I hold near and dear to my heart, that I feel spiritual about, that I feel chosen about, that I feel I want to talk with people that have walked before me, and I can't because they're caught up in a money grab, and it's disgusting. And that is the main reason why we can't get a story about freaking Gilgamesh. You can't read it, you know, right. and that's the main problem. Hi, Mary Newbert. So I want to. Hi, Sam. Sam's in here, by the way. Remember, I already told everybody twice. 9 p.m. tonight. Jody Dean, man, gonna be a kick-ass interview. I might have to pop in on that and say hi to that dude, man. I like that dude.
Hey, ciao, Gianni.
Gianni, ciao. So yeah, all right. So enough of me fucking squawking and ranting, but you know, it's kind of what the show's about, because I think we could get a lot further if we had the history. If we listened to a gentleman like Tom out on the West Coast and watched, let's say Sasquatch, you know, and watch some of the, you know, hear their theories, you know, and I don't know where Elda stands on this either, by the way. It's interesting because if you notice, and I'm not trying to bring her up or anything like that, but I don't think she gets a lot of, you know, I don't think in her teachings they have a lot of this woo stuff. You know what I mean? I don't. It just seems like, you know, the way we discuss things, it seems like it goes to a certain point and then stops. You know what I mean? And so I don't know where to. I'm stuck with the woo. I'm stuck with what's in the woods that we're seeing. I think they're totally separate at this point. I think they're totally separate. I see lights, you know, and I have some pictures that look like Satunga would look like, but I'm not sure, you know, and that's the truth of it, you know, and that's where I'm at. You know, the self-illuminating eyes, you know, I know what I experienced, you know what I mean? And I felt that was a Satunga, you know what I mean? And went along with all the other stories that were out there. So it matched and I couldn't deny it. Right. And now I'm seeing these one light, you know, and behind that one light is a being. There's a being there. Mostly I feel star people, aliens from different places and not the same ones. Well, one same one 3 times, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of stuck here. You know, and I just want to research Bigfoot, right? I'm okay with the star people. I'm okay with them. They're welcome to be there. They're peaceful. They don't have anything that's dangerous, or I don't think they want to hurt us. But I'm stuck. I got to be honest with you guys. As a researcher, I'm stuck, and I've had a lot of time to think the last week or so, being sick, looking at different footage on YouTube and different channels and different places. And just really craving casting a print, just really craving hearing that we have plenty of whoops. Don't get me wrong. You know, the gift that's why the gift in the mushroom in the tree. Mm-hmm. I jumped around like a little kid because it had been a long time where I could 100% confirm. And you guys might say you can't 100% confirm that because you didn't see him put it there. Well, that's fine. You're right. But for me, it was 100% inside here. I knew where that came from. And that brought me home. that brought me back to my gift and stump in my backyard, because it had been a long time since we got kind of direct contact from them. So it was very important to me. You know what I mean? And I don't want them being drowned out by, the lights and the aliens and star people. You know what I mean? So, that's the thing I want to get back to today. So, hey, Moon at Noon, how you doing, man? So if everybody's on board with that,
Hey, Moon.
that's where I'm going today. You guys make a great point about jumping around from state to state. Yeah, if the fish are bite, right. Well, that's what we decided, and we had been to a few different places, Curious, and even my backyard we had been to, and we had a discussion one day, and I'm like, let's just pound this area, and Roger's like, hell yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So that's what we both decided on, that we were gonna pound this area. 2 years next month we've been pounding this area. Amazing results. So we've gained their trust. They understand us. They know us. We know them. We know they're there because the footprints in the snow when I was jumping around when Susan was there. That was another reason why I was jumping around, because it was them. I knew it was them, man. The inlines, the tight ropes, whatever you want to call them, the clotheslines, those footprints. That's them. I know it's them. So that excites me. So that's where I want to be, and no disrespect to anything else out there. It's amazing and whimsical at points, you know what I mean? And even adrenaline rush. But it's not where my heart is. My heart is not there. My heart is here. Right there. That's where my heart is, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. And there's other things that D-Hoot, I'm just reading your question. So are you thinking that the Bigfootish things behind the light could be something else manifesting what it is you want to see? Well, in a way, it's kind of like after the fact, maybe, but during my whole thing is the behavior. When we're looking at the lights, we had things thrown at us. We can hear movement. We can hear whoops. It's the context that go along with the lights.
Yeah.
And you guys been out there, and like I said, I think it's nothing but respect. I think they want to, communicate with us. You kind of wonder, Rich. So here on the East Coast, I wonder if the Bigfoots are different here than it is out west. So if someone happened to ask me that as a question, a friend of mine, and I said that's a very good question, because my only theory, and it's just a theory, so that doesn't mean this is exactly what it is. Here we have more houses. I mean, like they're around like conservation lands, whatever, and there's more human activity. Where out west is more vast, like really big, deep woods in the middle of nowhere. And if someone's like hunting like miles and miles in there, maybe they're more, I don't know, moody-ish. Because there have been a lot of missing people, whatever, but it's tough to say. I mean, those are things that have been popping up in my head, like, certain points, like, down south. I mean, all these Bigfoots that we hear, the sightings, the stories, are they that much different than each other? And I just think ecologically, well, the landscapes are different. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, I 100% believe it's just like us. And I've said this a million times, you know what I mean? So, you have different features, different accents. One of the things that Mr. Seward talked about was the languages. I was watching him on YouTube today, and he said, learn your local tribe's languages. And that's what I've been doing. I've been on Wampanoag learning what they, because that's the primary one in this area. So I've been trying to learn Wampanoag words to bring to the research area as well. Along with the ones that we've been gifted through Elder. And a few other people too I've spoken to, Okoy was one that a gentleman gave me online. And but yeah, so that was interesting. You know what I mean? He talked about the Midwest in Oklahoma and what they call them the Satunga in that area, and where he lives and what he grew up with is a totally different name that I cannot pronounce. It ain't gonna happen. So he has a whole different name for him, and he talks about them in different groups, and learn your local indigenous people's words in language and pass that along, and they might understand you better. And I thought that was a great piece of knowledge that I gained today. And I was amazed that I had messaged him through Messenger and told him who I was. And like I said, I think some of the texting got misconstrued. I didn't go crazy weird with the lights and stuff, but I asked him about the spiritual side of it, blah, blah, blah. And that was just shut down completely. So that's one thing that I wanted to get back to, and some of the thing, and he got right back to me, which I thought was awesome. So, but yeah, an older gentleman who has a lot of knowledge. So, I reached out, and that's where we ended up. So, and now my brain won't stop. You guys have seen this act before from me, I'm sure, right? Kurt says, humans are humans. They just vary where they grow old in the world, right? And if I could spin it, thank you. Each territory surround will adapt to you to that surrounding, but we're all humans. Yeah, exactly. So, think about it, man. Think about this. It's just that simple. People grow up in Cuba. Cuba's right there, 90 miles off our coast, right? It's right there. They don't speak the same language, and they don't necessarily. They're darker. They have a tan. You know what I mean? They have things that help them protect from the sun, and a different pigmentation. Like a pale person can't be down there. They'd be in the hospital every other week. So, you think about that, and then you look at somebody up in British Columbia, in Canada. A lot of them actually are fair skinned and freckly. You know what I mean? So, you look at that, and they have a different language, right? And even when they both speak English, they both have different accents trying to speak English. So why wouldn't that be the case for Satunga? It just doesn't make sense to be anything else. I mean, if we're talking the first human, and we all believe, and there is DNA out there that says, I think one said 95% human and 5 unknown. I don't know about that, but that was I saw that on Les Stroud's episode with he has 2 of them with Todd Standing, and the second one where he's more critical of Todd Standing because all the accusations came out against Todd Standing. And there's the thing too, right? Again, case in point, here's a guy out there doing it on his own. If he gets the discoveries that he's getting, it shatters capitalism in the Bigfoot world. Shatters it. It's over. Everybody goes to Todd Standing. So what do? They spread something out there, and he's a hoaxer now. And now he's a proven hoaxer. And, that face is his face, and his sister's a makeup artist. And, all these things get put out there. Now, I don't know what the truth is. I'm not here to decipher what the truth is. I'm here to bring up the point that could be the case, that there's a campaign against people like that. And if you have never seen his first films, his first episodes, like Todd Standing, dude, I was watching that. I was absolutely frightened. He has like a flare he snaps off, and he's like, get out of here. He's really into it, and I'm thinking, not knowing any better at the time. And I don't know what I have no opinion on him whatsoever. Honestly, I'm not being politically correct, because I'm not that. And if I had one, I sure as hell would tell you. You should know that by now as well. So, and I watched like the Apple get taken and all this stuff. Well, who's in charge of that? Who's out there just drop? Oh, he's a liar. Oh, why is he a liar? And then they research into him, and they shit on him. And now he's gone. He's considered a hoaxer. More than 50% hoaxer. If you look into him, 60 to 70% will tell you he's a hoaxer. And they rant and rave about it. Because now when somebody does their own research, air quotes, they're not going to be wrong ever again. You can never convince a human being, in this shit especially, that they're wrong. Okay, that has gone to the wayside. That only exists in like 20% of Americans. I know that, because everybody's fucking right about everything all the time, right? Mm-hmm. People don't. Hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. When do you ever hear that phrase? It's gone, man. That's gone when our childhood is gone. And now you have to stand your ground, and you're not even that kind of person. I had. I'll say, dude, I was wrong about that. You know what I mean? It's not that hard, but you could never convince these people in this research field that they're wrong. Ever. I did my research, blah, blah, blah. No, you bit on something you didn't know nothing about, and now you're shitting on somebody you don't even know, and you never stood where he stood. Mm-hmm. You never stood where that man stood in those woods. So what if there is Bigfoot activity in those woods? Doesn't that firm up some of what he's telling you? Did he exaggerate it? Maybe. I don't know. Again, I have no opinion on it. But I believe that stuff gets planted, probably from you know who over there with the 4 letters. You know what I mean? And to quell that, because I've been a victim of that, from his buddy over here, fucking clown. You know what I mean? Like, why? I didn't do nothing to nobody. You were pissed off I was holding a real Bigfoot print. You didn't like it.
Yeah, because you're telling the truth, and you weren't hiding it because you didn't keep it with them,
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like if you were to like just say, "Hey, you make that phone call, hey guys, blah blah blah, want to go out, whatever." No, we're all set, but yet you find out, you see their vehicles there as you're like pulling around the corner, like, "What are you guys doing here?" Yeah. "Oh, we've been here."
Yep.
Because they want to claim something that wasn't theirs in the first place. And it's,
dude,
these are not our woods. Yeah. But again, it's that respect factor that we're doing the work. We're doing the understanding. We're taking down all the notes, the data, everything, sharing it to you, whatever. But these people, again, they just try to cut you from the legs.
Yeah.
Because they want everybody, the money, the likes, the subscribes, all goes to them. They don't like people like us because, all we do is we spread out, misinformation and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Proof. I mean, how can you go around saying that? That's another thing that bothers me.
Isn't that wild, man? And that's what happened to me. I never even met the person. It just all of a sudden, because maybe I was getting too close, I was going to eat it. And the funny thing is, before that happened, there was cobwebs on their website. I left it. It was so fucking boring that, there was like 1 or 2 posts here or there. And I'm like, these guys are washed. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get out every day. These dudes are washed. I don't even see stories of, hey, here's my investigation today. Not once for over a year. And I was like, oh God, you know what I mean? Boring. You're advertising this shit to people. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, we get a little network over here. And, oh, look at this. We're going to do 3 documentaries. We're going to send out the 4 letters with Dinky Boy. And we're going to get everybody out in the woods for fucking $600-$700 or whatever it is. Get out of here, dude. Go pay your own mortgage. Get a fucking job, you loser. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, dude. Unbelievable. He sends out his peasant boy.
Like D-Hoot. Yeah. Like D-Hoot says, it sounds like a competition to some and a learning process for others. Actually, yeah, it's a competition to most, but it's a learning process for some.
Yeah.
Okay? And my thing is, let's say we discovered exactly what the Bigfoot is, whatever. What are we going to get out of it? Honestly, what do we get out of it? Really, nothing.
No,
absolutely
nothing.
Because you know what? All I'm saying is they're forest people. They are people, and my thing is to let them be. Because you know what? Our first as humans is to destroy and conquer and and all that other BS, and it's just wrong.
Yeah, and
that's their mentality.
Yeah, you're right, and that's the other thing I talked to Mr. Seward about, and he mentions that in his YouTube episode with Salish Sasquatch that we're the ones that fight and argue, complain, destroy, contaminate, shit on each other, all this stuff. They're not. They're a peaceful being in the woods. They don't, they don't want nothing to do with us. That we're like that ignorant neighbor that you just kind of scurry into your house. You're like, oh God, glad I get in the house. Nobody, I didn't have to look at nobody. And that's the way he put it. And I totally wholeheartedly believe it. So with all that said, understand why I believe that has a lot to do with why this community, and only bits of this community, little pieces of this community. And if you go on YouTube, you'll probably find a lot of things about Gilgamesh historically, but it's not at the forefront. It's not recommended. You've got to search for it. And it doesn't coincide with our research. And I think that's part of the reason. I think it comes down to fame and money that someone claimed that I was looking for. Broken, not famous, by the way. I could have been famous. I could easily put on As Seen on Expedition X, anytime, Discovery Channel, Wojo and Richie B. I could put that anywhere I want on any one of my sites and attract 100 more people. Anytime. Because that's how shallow people are. Anytime we could do that, right? No thanks. Bunch of bullshit. They took 4 of my stories and made it into 1. absolute clown show, garbage. And that's why I believe they're on hiatus, because everybody saw through that shit. Absolute embarrassment. So anyways, and that's what those other people do. That's what they'll do. And again, if it was a documentary about myself, I seen on Amazon Prime, yeah, because I'd want you to go over and see that, because it's real. Hey, Poncho, I think I saw Gary in here too. Gary was in here.
Yeah, Gary's in the house with the wrench.
Yeah. So we could easily do that and try to pump it up. And it's like, that ain't what we're about, man. We're actual, real researchers. Imagine that. And algorithms in this. Yeah, algorithms.
And only that
joke.
Yeah. I mean, again, just being on TV for something, okay? Is it cool? Absolutely. If it was our way, it'd be even more. It'd be like a cool thing for education, for purposes, learning, and respecting. That's our whole thing. But these people are for entertainment, money, the whole shebang, okay?
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned through that Expedition X. I've learned a lot, and I was just like, you know what? They could take that crap and see you later,
Yeah. Gianni, I don't know what you mean by what happened. We're just talking in general, brother. So again, if you just came in, doing a little something different today, we're going to have a topic. I'm looking into the origin of Bigfoot. Where did the conversation start about the first humans, right? Let's look into the first humans that ever stepped on Earth. Just look at it that way and put Bigfoot off here for now. Just put them over here. Let's research first humans, right? What are the known documented first humans that ever stepped on Earth? Now, first you got to go, okay, how old is Earth? Okay, well, let's start there, right? Let's start there at the creator, right? And then work your way. Because I have a theory, and a lot of things have been falling into place, that what we deal with is the first humans. I don't know how to tie all the woo shit into it. I just don't. I know what I've seen. I know what I've seen. I know what I've heard. I know what I've been told. I know those things. I know I've connected. I know those things. I want to put that all over here for now, okay? Because I'm having trouble tying them both in, okay? And I think part of it is because the Star people kind of came in, and no offense, dudes, and really threw a wrench into my whole thought process, right? And I want to get back to that. So my theory is we're dealing with the first humans, the first people, right? So let's look that up. Let's find that out. Where did any documentation, Neanderthals, all that, even probably before them even, dude. I mean, they were talking like 10,000 years ago. What happened on Earth 10,000 years ago? Let's start there. Let's start at the beginning, like any good investigator with a cold case, and stop breaking down the evidence. And let's do segments of this. Let's get looking. You guys do your research. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link up in here too as well in the chat. If you want to come in right now and give me your theory on that, you're welcome to do it, so you don't have to text a million letters. It doesn't mean you're going to sit with me for 2 hours, but take 10 or 15 minutes, explain your theory, and then we can discuss it with everybody. It's just easier than texting, right? So I'm going to do that right now again, because I know a lot of newer people came in late. So, and it's not a great big show. I'm not over here announcing it, but I am announcing tomorrow night. Daryl Denton is my guest. And we had a kick-ass video of him, and he's going to be here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern time on the Bigfoot Banter with Richie B podcast, worldwide, baby. Dark Round TV, Media Squatch, H-Low Outdoors / Media, every Roku television, Amazon Fire Stick, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, Apple, you name it, we're there. You can literally, I could be a complete jerk and just say, Google me. And you'll find out where we're at. Just Google me. I'm that guy. I should get a shirt that says that, right? Maybe we'll just put that out there. I should put that on socks. So if you have an interesting point that you want to make about the beginning of time and the first humans and your theory on if that's connected to Sasquatch, Satunga, Bigfoot, then come on in and do that. We're going to be here for a little while. I'm in no rush, really. I don't have much going on except video games later. So, Daryl's going to be here, man. He's going to be here, and we're going to talk like fellow researchers. We're actually going to know what each other's talking about. So it's going to be kind of cool. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to pick his brain and kind of get him into, because I've seen his research evolve like mine has. So that's another reason why I'm touching base with this. And him and Ron Moorhead have a podcast now too. By the way, if you guys don't know about that, it's on the thumbnail that I posted, and he's going to be here, and I'm thrilled to have him. And the 14th, we're actually going to have Coley. Coley's coming in as a guest. So we're going to get to know Coley, and I don't even want to worry about collabs or nothing. I just want her to be a guest on our show as a person, and find out about her. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. So no big shebangs in that sense. Just sit down and have a little fun. And I'm sure there'll be some pictures involved, but you know what I mean? And JJ Messenger's show was awesome, by the way. I am going to pull up, let me see, one thing here, and then I'm going to share the Wikipedia. There you go. There's a thumbnail right there for Daryl Denton. I just got to take that comment off. You'll see two real cryptid legends, Daryl Denton and Ron Moorhead, Mondays, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Live on UPTN Talk Radio, Two Real Podcast. So that's the neat little thought. I couldn't fix anything with his arm. He cut off his own hand, and I couldn't do anything about it. So that's the picture I got. I was like, I could put something there.
I lost my hand.
You've lost your leg. Marry a flesh wound, old boy. But you have no leg. Yeah, absolutely. So, so Daryl Denton will be here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a kick-ass video that Sam from Sam's Pretty Productions made for us, and check it out. You need any digital creations, any thumbnails for your podcast, anything at all, your private business, whatever it is, reach out to Sam. Just message her, and you guys can work out pricing and all how that works. So yeah, Daryl Denton will be here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central. And I can't wait to sit down with him. He's a really humble dude and a bit of a legend, I hear. I want to hear about the LBL. That's one of my bucket list places I want to go is the LBL. So, yeah I just want to be scared and be at the LBL a little bit. So, super excited about that. Daryl, if you're out there, thank you for agreeing to sit with me and Wojo, and we're honored to have you, sir. So, looking forward to that. So, let's do this. I was singing. Yeah, I was dancing to that thing so hard, man. The link is up. If anybody's brave enough to come in and just sit with us for a few minutes, come on in and tell us your theory. We're going all the way back to the first humans today. I am going to bust out some Wikipedia, but it is a lot of writing and not exactly, exciting or whatever. But I want to see, some of this stuff. I want to do this. So Gilgamesh, what I typed in to the search engine, right? Microsoft Edge or whatever I use. I wrote Gilgamesh. I wrote it wrong. Yeah, that's one of the problems. They knew I was an idiot and put the G in for me. Gilgamesh. Oh, there we go. Gilgamesh and the Bigfoot story, right? Let's see what we got. So ancient astronaut theorists suggest that the Epic of Gilgamesh actually describes a hominid creature created by extraterrestrial beings. That's what they're going with. And Ketu is described as a hairy man-like monster with great strength, leading some to believe that he could have been a Bigfoot or Sasquatch, right? So again, historically, you have different views, right? Different theories, right? Timeline's important, I think. The timeline of Gilgamesh spans from the establishment of Uruk around 2800 BCE. That is way back. In various libraries. Imagine that. In various libraries. Wow, what's in libraries? Oh, historical documents are in libraries. That's where they're kept. That's so weird, isn't it?
I never heard of a library.
Wow, strange, right? So Gilgamesh becomes king of Uruk, right? He is described as a semi-mythical figure. So they don't know 100%, but there's some information on him, so to speak, right? Ruling for 126 years, according to which would be mythical at that point. So this is why your history books, it's the old adage when you're in kindergarten class and the teacher says, all right, we're going to whisper to each other from the back of the room, and everybody passes it out, right? So the teacher whispers in the ear, tell Tommy to bring his pencil to the sharpener. And then all of a sudden it goes through everybody, and it's tell Bobby to go take a pee in the urinal by the time it gets to the front of the class. So sometimes those key events change, right? Sometimes the story changes. That is understandable, but there's always key elements that you can pick from.
If you got a question, sir, please feel free to hop on, Mr. William Nighthawk. Nighthawk is in the house.
Right.
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I put the link up, guys. If we're doing kind of an open talk, probably for about another hour. Oh, what did I do? Where did it go? Where are you? Are you still here?
I'm here.
What? Oh my God, I hit a button. Yeah, don't hit that button. What the hell is that? Wow, that was wild. I didn't know we had that feature. Back to you, Bob. Yeah, so there you go. Moon at noon. 12 tribes, species of humans we are Homo sapiens, man, that thinks. Let's see. Sumeran. Who's that?
The Sumerian.
Well, there's somebody in here with that name that I missed. William, what's up, buddies? Yeah, so I put it up there. Homo sapiens go farther back than 10,000 years ago. Africa, I believe, way back. Yeah, but you know what's funny? That's one of the things I always find interesting, right? We name things, right? How do we know it was named Africa 10,000 years ago? Like what? Like, you know what I mean? It was like all one big blob of mud at one point, right? Like, because the oceans and receding and all that. So how do we know that? You know, just, you know, I guess it's a point of reference, you know, with today's knowledge. I don't know. Homo habilis, 2.4 million years ago. And that's from DNA. There you go. Right? So there's a conversation to be had there, right? 2.4 million years ago, Curious has Homo habilis, 2.4 million years ago, and that is from DNA. I'd like to hear that story of how we got that DNA from that long ago. Not that I'm not doubting. I'm curious about it. No pun intended. Is the myth of Adapa the oldest text at Curious with Uana, which I think were also the Inaku, I believe. I never read it. Let's go. Let's do
the
this.
Homo erectus, supposedly over 2 million years ago, made fire.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, right? These things are, you know, known, but why? Like, where does the Bigfoot story come in here? You getting my point yet? Like, this is so vast and so mind-blowing that we don't go back here because we're caught up in here in the now. But like anything else that you research, every form of research, think about it. It comes with like dialogue, text. How do we receive our history before 1940, whatever? You know what I mean? Like how do we receive it? On paper, through text, through archaeology, through research. Why have we stopped? Because of all the stupid cameras and screens and bullshit and distractions and politics and money. Like, why are we stopping that? We're dumbing ourselves down as a race. Like, let's change that. Let's this community change that. Let's go back and find the text of when we started and when did the story of Bigfoot come into play? When did the story? What did they get the descriptions and see? Oh, this could be him, right? The Vikings spoke of him, right? And what 1,000 was that 1,000 BC? I believe 1,080. I can't remember which letters it was. 1,000, whatever, a long time ago. What is it? Leif Erikson's brother or something, or Eric the Red's brother, Leif Erikson, however that works. I don't know. He had trade and everything else with these big hairy giants. So, and not even like Lovelock Cave and the Paiutes and all that stuff. Not even there. Further, get going. Way back.
Yeah.
Way back, right? Yeah. Well, whatever, William. Some tablets went missing in Iraq. That's a great point, Gianni, by the way. Yeah, there was a lot of shit that went missing with all this bullshit that went on. And you got the Smithsonian that had 4 skulls, and then their excuse for getting rid of them was, oh, we buried them in a ritual. That's what their answer was. That's a quoted answer documented from the Smithsonian about those 4 skulls. And my question is, Well, if you didn't know who the fuck they were, then what kind of ritual did you do? Right? How would you know to do a ritual on these 4 skulls that we believed were giants if you don't say there's any giants? What ritual did you use? What did you do? Like, seriously, they sing the fucking baloney song to him? Like, what is going Oscar Mayer Wiener? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, what are we doing? So that statement right there tells me you're lying or you're hiding something, right?
Hey,
Many blessings, Robin. William, you got a point there, bro. You know, ask Tyler about smoke signals. That dude sends smoke signals every day. The story of Gilgamesh was based on a real king of Uruk in Iraq, and Enkidu was tamed and became his friend and could no longer return to the wild. However, the king has been proven. So Gilgamesh has been proven, and again, when I was watching it today and reading a little bit about it, they became like soulmate best friends. You know what I mean? Like he was known throughout the Uruk as, you know, I mean, they could have, maybe they were gay lovers. I don't even know. You know what I mean? I'm breaking into the Smithsonian. Don't say that out loud, bro. I still got the Wienermobile whistle. I bet you do, bro. I bet you do. But no, I mean, it's something. I think it's something worth now. Curious. I'm curious. What would you think? Do you think it starts there? Do you think, what are the dimensions of the hairy man? Right. So let's see what the dimension. Oh, what are the documented or leftover type documentation that would have his Enkidu? Yeah, Enkidu was his name. Thank you. I already said it 5 times, but thank you for reminding me. I'm still out of it. The meds. Let's see. I got this. Let's do this because Wojo's on his phone and he can't really. If he doesn't know a lot about the subject that his buddy brought him into, like an asshole, then let's get him to read. Can you read on that phone today?
You want me to look it up?
No, because you'd have to go off the air to do it. So that I'm going to share it so you can read it.
Which one? Gilgamesh?
No, maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah, let's read some history about it, and then we'll look up whatever, that dude, hairy dude. All right?
Hold on.
Right. You're going to go up the air. I was going to share it so you could read it from your screen so you could participate in the show and not be a black screen. Oh, my God.
Well, I got to look it up.
I didn't want. I have it on the screen. I just said it 5 times. I was going to share it.
Oh
my.
Oh
my God. No.
Hey, welcome to Home of the Book. Richie B's reading hour.
You know what happens with you is you're such a social butterfly. You don't listen to every word. You're over there looking at things. You're watching comments.
Hold on. No,
there
that's
it
not
is.
True. That is not true. Hold on. I am a visualist. I am envisioning all of this and just like the names, what's going on in my head here, picturing everything. So I'm just waiting for the story so it starts moving in my head. I'm not reading nothing other than ready to read what you got.
All right, lock it in, bro. Lock it in right now. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Was that out loud? Oh, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Look at this. I wonder if we could share a video and watch it together. Like a little movie time. We could all cuddle up. Hey, JT. Hey, JT.
Hey, Mr. Temperine.
Hey, everybody. There we go. We'll put that PayPal up there. PayPal, and what is the other one? I heard of a Zelly. I think there's another way, too, to put it on the lives or something like that. But, yeah, whatever. We're just trying to keep the horse fed so it keeps pulling the cart. This cart is rocky. Rocky carts. Yeah.
Tyler, keep it up.
I will force feed you so many roller dogs, kid.
I'm going to start calling you Kobayashi.
Ooh, Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
Look at this one. This one here has Bigfoot history, it called it. Oh, I already know whose site that is. I see who that's associated with. Yeah, no thanks. All right, here we go. Let's go here. So Gilgamesh, Bigfoot and Enkidu. There it is. Oh, this looks like a nice, easy read. All right. I don't know. I haven't read it. I don't know what it says. Any bad words in it or anything like that, I can't help you. Deal with it. I can't control it over here, though. Nope. Yeah, let me do this. I can do that, though. Whoa. I put it on free move, didn't I? No, there we go.
Bigfoot.
Hang on.
And
I'm working on it. Hang on.
No, I can read it.
I don't believe you. So,
all right, here we go. Bigfoot and Enkidu from the epic Gilgamesh, one of the oldest extant literary works of humanity. The epic of Gilgamesh presents the tale of Enkidu, a rogue man fashioned by the gods to serve as the counterpoint to the powerful king Gilgamesh. From his wild upbringing to the eventual assimilation into human culture, Enkidu's life story makes for fascinating parallels with the contemporary myth of Bigfoot. Shut up. A big, hairy, ape-like creature who prowls the woods and avoids confrontation with humans. We can investigate themes of nature versus society, the wild versus the domesticated, and humanity's everlasting obsession with the unknown of the untamed by analyzing the traits and narrative roles of Enkidu and Bigfoot. First people describe Enkidu.
Do you see it?
I see it.
Oh, I did that. Sorry. I don't know what it did that for. Yeah, on my other screen, you can see it perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So the first people describe Enkidu as a wild animal with incredible power and savage instincts, living among other creatures. He lives in harmony with the natural world in the woods, unencumbered by the limitations and vices of human civilization. Bigfoot often describe him as a strong, lone creature living in isolated highlands and forests, untouched by human influence. Aligns with this image. Enkidu and Bigfoot, who both represent strength, freedom, and mystery, are symbols of
primordial bonds with natural world.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's tough to read on that little screen. So
Enki, okay. Enki. Thank you, William.
Oh, it's Enkidu?
Enkidu.
See? Isn't that great? We're learning stuff. All right, let me go back through some of the comments. The brownies are making Wojo a bit defensive tonight. Yeah. You should have seen the day after. Woo! Oral history, pictography, science came later. So curious, do you have any, I don't know if there's comments before that comment. Do you have any time frame or evidence when he was proven to be real, meaning the Gilgamesh? Like what year did they finally acknowledge him? If you don't know, Curious is a absolute brilliant human being. Like, wow. Yeah. Like, wow smart. So we love having her on the team. Behemoth has the chest plate of, I don't know what that one is. Did I miss something on that? Let's see. Enkidu was his name at the time of Gilgamesh. He killed Enkidu. Oh. Was it a mercy killing? Or did he feel betrayed? I got to read that. The Smithsonian has some of the most valuable treasures on Earth on public display, yet maintain a vault on Fort Meade, Maryland, using NSA security forces to keep what can't be seen from being seen. That's interesting. That's at you, Gianni. Do PayPal tips, QR codes, or you're tax-free, brother? If you put it in as a family and friends, like a gift, then yeah. But if you choose services and goods, they hold it for 21 days, and then you get hit. And I don't know if the person sends it gets hit. It depends on what country they're in, because that's the international one. Anyways, I heard about Fort Meade. Gianni says Leviathan, the ocean. I live outside. Okay, so no, it goes back further. Enkidu was sentenced to death, not by Gilgamesh. Oh, by the Anunnaki, the high god. Oh. Also ties into Noah being made. All right, so we're in the right time frame then, guys. Right? This is kind of what I was looking for, and I gravitated to this story. So that's pretty cool. So that's where we're at. All right. So any questions on the first two paragraphs there? Comes from the one they called Sophia. Oh, thank you, Mooncat, mother of all. That dude's smart too. I like having him around too. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, sorry. All right. So let me go here. I'll pick it up from here for this section, anyways. Here it is. All right. A wild creature to a civilized man. What did I say? Inking? What was the correction on his?
Enkidu.
Enkidu. Yeah, I was saying it. Okay. Enkidu becomes acquainted with human traditions, cuisine, and attire following his meeting with Shamhat, a temple prostitute who stands in for the civilization. Those prostitutes get you in trouble, bro. Promoting force of human society. Like, seriously, really? Funny how we got that documented 3,000 years ago. No problem, though, right? Yeah, weird, huh? Come on. And think of the detail of this, right? This is what I want to say. As you're reading this story and you go over to Wikipedia and you go over to the other sources, they're almost right in line with each other. There's not much variation. There's actually more information than this. This is just a synopsis, kind of. So how is this not historical with all this detail? Seriously. This change signifies his transition from a creature of nature to a member of society as he joins Gilgamesh in his travels and ambitions. The story arc emphasizes the conflict between the wild and the civilized, a theme that runs throughout Bigfoot mythology. Unlike Enkidu, Bigfoot remains a mystery, never fully assimilated into human civilization. The creature's enigmatic nature, ability to evade detection, and ambiguous documentation fuel Bigfoot's mythology. Because of his constant elusiveness, Bigfoot is a symbol of the wild and unknown that exists just outside the borders of human civilization. Bigfoot continues to be a timeless emblem of secrets of nature and the boundaries of human knowledge, even if Enkidu's story contains a journey towards civilization. Anything on the side? In spite of these distinctions, Bigfoot and Enkidu both act as links between the natural and the human realms. Now, there's a key point, right? A long time, he was pushed as a missing link, right? Which is only a link between humans. They're depicting him as a connection between humans and nature, therefore signifying that nature, as we know, is alive. Do you understand that? Right? Mother Earth, right? The things that we talk with Elder about. So that being alive. So that's that link, not the link here with us. Again, humans, selfish, self-absorbed, all about us. You know what I mean? No, there's other things out here. There's other living creatures, beings, souls, whatever, feelings, whatever you want. Only important stuff documented. Correct, John. Let's see. I agree with that as well. Yes, to woo him to town. A hunter found him in the woods with animals. In spite of these distinctions, Bigfoot and Enkidu both act as links between the natural and the human realms. Enkidu passed as a wild man enhances his understanding and navigation of the natural world, surpassing Gilgamesh's urban upbringing. His eventual assimilation into human culture offers his collaborators insightful viewpoints and potent advantages. In a similar vein, the Bigfoot mythology challenges people to think about the potential existence of undiscovered species as well as is that enormous? I got my stupid words on
Enormous,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Uncharted wilderness that still occupy. Come on, stupid. Take down the friggin' thing. I'm trying to take that thing off. Here it is. Occupy our planet. Bigfoot embodies. I got screaming upstairs. I don't know if you can hear it. Bigfoot embodies the concept that some aspects of the natural world remain beyond human comprehension and control. There it is, right? Human comprehension. We discussed that a bunch of times tonight. The tale of Enkidu and Bigfoot also reflect the complex relationship between humans and nature. One could interpret Enkidu's journey from the wild to civilization as a metaphor for how humans have tamed and governed nature. His ultimate illness and demise serve as a metaphor for the losses and expenses that come with abandoning a natural state. On the other hand, Bigfoot mythology emphasizes the timeless appeal of the wild and unknown, implying a deep-seated desire for a connection to the wild that is sometimes absent from the modern life. In conclusion, the parallels between Enkidu and from the Epic of Gilgamesh and the contemporary Bigfoot phenomenon reveals many fascinating themes about nature, culture, and the unknown. Bigfoot's ongoing mystery underscores the boundaries of human understanding and the appeal of the wild, while Enkidu's evolution from a wild man to a friend of Gilgamesh emphasizes the friction and interaction between the natural and human worlds. These characters are potent representations of the intricate relations between nature and civilization, as well as humanity's ongoing obsession with the wild. These tales serve as a reminder of the complex and frequently contradictory bond that people have with the natural world, a bond that has inspired and fascinated people for eons. So, as you see, we do have a comparison, and you got to think. So, say you think in reality, right? The fiction and nonfiction, right? Who made up the fake, the mythical creatures, call it, right? And who made up the real one? Why would they do that, right? So if you take them from both angles, and how would it stand the test of time like it has, right? How many like we have like Greek, they call it Greek mythology, right? Is Greek mythology? Is it a myth? Did that happen? Were there other gods? I don't know. You know what I mean? I have no. Were they speaking of the same god, perhaps, in different views? But there was only one, right? There's got to be something to that as well, right? There's got to be something, right? Think about it. How many like children books? Does anybody know of any children books that were found before Jesus? In the sand somewhere, tablets, anything like that? Those stories don't. My point is, those stories don't seem to last the test of time. But ones with something behind it seem to carry. Whether it's 100% of the story or not, 30%, 70%, whatever. Those ones seem to carry. Not the children's books, right? I guess that's one way of looking at it. And then if you come over here, you have a whole thing on Wikipedia, right? And next to it, you have lists and lists and lists of different things. Epic of Gilgamesh, creation of Enkidu, I keep saying it wrong. Enkidu, right? The forest of Humbaba, Ishtar's seduction, death of Enkidu, right? So you come over here and you're looking at all this stuff, and it brings you to this place. He has a dream where the gods decide that the heroes must die since they have killed Humbaba, the forest, and the bull of heaven. Samash protests against the decision, but that does not change anything. And Enkidu is sentenced to death. This makes Enkidu curse the door he built with the wood of the forest and Shamhat for having changed his wild life. However, then he repents and blesses her. He discusses his nightmares with Gilgamesh about witnessing before that guy, that Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld. After this, sick and bedridden for 12 days. 12 days, not 11, not 10, not 100. 12 days. He asked Gilgamesh not to forget him. Finally, he dies. Gilgamesh calls up upon the mountains and all of Uruk to mourn for his friend. He recalls their adventures together, makes a funerary statue of Enkidu, and provides grave gifts. So Enkidu has a favorable life in the realm of the dead. Enkidu is buried in the river, like Gilgamesh, and in the Sumerian poem. His descent to the underworld. There is another non-canonical tablet in which Enkidu's journeys into the underworld, but many scholars consider the tablet to be a sequel or add-on to the original epic inspired by the Sumerian poem by Gilgamesh. So there you go. You have human connection. You know, you have some kind of documentation. There's a tablet, right there. Basically, that's how he wrote his poem for his buddy. How do I go back? Doesn't have a go back one. Oh, there it is. So, and there's all these different types here. You know, things that you find from, bronze sword with hilt depicting Gilgamesh and Enkidu slaying Humbaba. I don't know who that is. They said it was the forest, but it sounds like a person. 1200, 800 BC. There's a sword. Something physical that they have historically. I can't see the comments, Wojo, so you got to keep up with me if you don't mind. Chaos Monster and Sun God. Fighting scene between a beast and a mane with horns and tail. So compared to Mesopotamian bullman, suggestive of Indus Mesopotamia relations. Terracotta wall panel depicting Enkidu, Gilgamesh's friend. He wears a horned helmet and his lower body is bull-like, they say, some of them. From Iraq. 2027, 1763 BCE, on display in the Iraq Museum in Baghdad. Iraq, according to goddesses and context on divine powers, roles, relations, and gender. So there is documentation. There is just confusion, it seems, what he looked like, right? But he's more known for the hairy man, not the bull-like, right? But look at, here it is. This is in a museum in Iraq. 2027, 1763 BC. Right there. That's the guy. That's the dude. That's the dude they're talking about. Possible depiction of Enkidu as a bullman fighting a lion. So somebody's getting these stories from somewhere. This was discovered in 2015. It describes encountering, let me see who this dude is. Humbaba, originally known as Huwawa, was a figure in Mesopotamian mythology. The origin, I love how they always use the word mythology. So it's kind of like act like it's not real. The origin and meaning of his name are unknown. He was portrayed as a anthropomorphic figure comparable to ogre or giant. He is best known from Sumerian Akkadian narratives focused on the hero Gilgamesh, including short composition. So here you go. This guy is depicted as a giant. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They use the word right there against the enemy, the bad guy, right? But look at all this. Tell me this. Disproved proposals. While such possibilities have been suggested in old scholarship, the name Hum does not refer to Baba, but not an unrelated minor god worshipped, as attested in the text from the rain. See, look at all this. This is history, guys. There's something to be said for all this documentation.
Well, Humbaba and I think the Amorites. I mean, that's all in the Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
But so that tells you we're not far off from our theory in a sense,
Right.
So it's not crazy, Is this Sharon? She has tab instead. There you go.
Yeah, William. William says check out the Cherokee giant Judah Chilla. legend. He did a show on it a couple months back.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, and what is your theory on it? Is this where he derives from? Was he back then? Was he here? And his own type of being? The tales of Enkidu and Bigfoot also reflect complex relationship between. Yeah, this is the same story in a different. What? No, it's ridiculous. Then again, what would I know? It looked ridiculous. Yeah, right. So you got different things that you could find and different places where you can research this stuff, and there's a reason why these are here. There's a reason why this stuff is here, man. It's not here because people are making money off the story. I've never seen the great movie of Gilgamesh. There's Gilgamesh the movie here. It says right. It's on YouTube. You know what I mean? 215,000 views. Right. Look it up. Watch it. But is it in the mainstream movies and making millions of dollars? And it's not. So
thank you, William. William's going to send you some pictures on Messenger soon.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely, man.
He said he's got a great picture of a giant with a sword on a canyon wall. Real stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Let's go back to the origin of Bigfoot. Let's put away the lights. Let's put away the woo for a little bit. We're still going to experience things in the woods. But let's go back like a cold case and research from the beginning. What could be in comparison to this? And Mojo and I did the Lovelock Cave and the Paiutes and all that. And there was mating involved, forceful, I guess. But, I don't like talking about that stuff. It's gross. But, there was that stuff involved. And the Paiutes, they kind of have that facial structure where they were kind of flat and big cheeks, and that, that could have something to do with it. You know what I mean? And they have a documented incident, seemingly historic. And we could follow it up to that point, and find out, where we're at in that sense. Right. And if they do, and then we'll talk about abilities, right? Maybe they do have these abilities and they've honed the skills of Mother Earth, or they have the powers of Mother Earth, right? But you go back to like all the stone structures and things like that. And I've spoken about this for a while. The Avelias there, stonemasons in Central Mass. And I think they said their name right? The
Vieira brothers.
What is it? Vieira. Yeah, the Vieira brothers. They were on History Channel for a while. And the stones that they find and all the structures and temples and things like that were not made by man. We just didn't have the technology historically. We don't have the information that we do. Was there, we know things come and go on Earth, supposed dinosaurs and extinct this and extinct that. You know what I mean? Was there cultures, the Mayans, they disappeared, Nautilus or whatever I was going to say. That culture supposedly disappeared. But you look at the structures and stuff, and you look at the stones and you look at the cuts and you look at the angles and you look at how they were built and how did they do that? And, things like this and things like that. So were there other cultures here with different abilities, that are gone? Yet this one had the abilities and stayed. Why not have that conversation? Because it's of this earth, right? It's of this earth.
First of all, Exploring with Christy, great to see you on here. Thank you for being here. We're just trying to go way back on some history of what possibly like the first humans and where everything falls on the Bigfoot. Curious Cryptid says mythical and real, and in between there's the truth. Every story has a foot in reality. The memory comes from something that happened, or there would be no memory of it.
Interesting.
And I think way back on the comments, I didn't forget, but I think it was JT mentioned about Esau, and we kind of discussed that too. The stories of Esau, and I'll tell you, it's just a lot of everything's just fascinating. This is why we're researching here together and having critical thinkers like yourselves, and and have this discussion, because this is what's important. I mean, we want to learn more than what we're seeing in the woods, and really understand, how do they get here and all that stuff. Mooncat says they had statues of the Green Man everywhere next to priest, kings, rulers, everywhere. They took them offline and destroyed them all over the planet.
All right. So why don't we do this then? Everybody's involved. Everybody's engaged. Like I knew they would. And me as a researcher says, what resources can you use, Rich, to get to the bottom of something? Well, that's my audience. That's my friends. That's people on our lives. That's people in our live messenger group, right? There goes Wojo. One of the best resources out there are you guys. That's why I said I got to bring this up to these guys, because my mind was blowing up today. I couldn't stop it. Okay, I'm all right. Okay. Hold down. You had surgery? Grazie. No, Gianni.
Oh.
Surgery
Gianni.
from early this morning. I hope you're doing all right, bro. They had all right. So tell me this. Type in, to make it quick and easy, because nobody wants to hit the link and come in here and talk to us today. I won't hold any grudges against you. Well, maybe. But anyways, give me a percentage of a tie-in with any of the mythical creatures that I'm going to say mythical, I guess. I think that's a word that I really do think that's just like a government word, honestly. I just to kind of like downplay things that happened before us. That's just me. Could be a conspiracy thing. The Forest Guardian. Okay, thank you, Curious. Two. Give me a percentage, 0 to 100, of where you're at with the, not Nephilim, all of them together, right? Enkidu, what was the other one? Esau, the Nephilim, all that stuff. Do you believe that Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Satunga, right, derive from, what are the percentages of your believability that it comes from this area, and not any other area? I don't even want to bring up the other topics. Just this, what we're discussing today. What is the percentage of belief that it comes back as a first human, dawn of time, other cultures we already know about, have been here and gone? What is your percentage? Type it in now. Type in whatever, 20%, 80%, whatever it is now, so I can see it. It's quick and easy to type, and we can get through it. I want to know your believability, what your personal believability is. I came over from Sam's channel. Oh, hi. Well, welcome from Sam's channel. Thank you for stopping by. Please like, subscribe. You can be both channels. Yeah, we have our show Saturday. Hers Friday. 50%. John JT starts it out with a 50-50 draw. I like that, John. That's a great way. Safe way too.
Yeah.
Let's go. Everybody type. Come on now. Interactive podcast. We don't just sit here talking. We want you to be part of this. I brought this to you for a reason. I brought this because I have faith and believe in you. Go ahead. 85. Previous says 85.
Wow.
So JT's at 50. You can talk. Go ahead.
It's great to see you previously. I didn't know you were here.
Yeah, previously. Good to see you.
Nephilim bloodline. Ooh.
Bloodline. Okay, so derives from. Okay, that's fair. You could, if you feel the need, to do that. If you have further research that you've done and you want to stay with that, stay true to that, then put in Nephilim, whatever. You know what I mean? Denny, 70%. So Nephilim bloodline, 50% believability or 50% research. That's the way it is. I'm trying to think of what to say. 420%.
Where's D-Hood? Where's D-Hood? Where's your percentage? Come on, guys.
Where's Curious?
Let's go.
She didn't say a percentage, right?
No. Nope. Where are you guys? Come on.
I know.
Let's finish strong here. Let's finish strong.
I'll type in mine. How's that? Dawn of Time, yes, 100%. There you go. That's nice too. I like that.
Yeah.
So this is about where I'm at, right? Thank you for that, Christy. This is about where I'm at with the dawn of time. 70, I would say the other would be a branch from Neanderthal and all of those other types of humans. I just don't, I don't know how. If that's the case, then there had to be intermingling, crossbreeding involved, right? Because Neanderthal weren't exactly big, right? But I see that, and there is 95%. Well, I don't want to go by that study. There's documentation of 95% human DNA, 5% unknown. I don't know how strongly I believe in that. I haven't seen that case study. 95% human, 8, 10 feet tall. I don't know. I do believe one thing. I've always had a theory of the dinosaurs, right? Everything back in prehistoric days supposedly was huge, right? Trees were huge, right? The sequoias or whatever was, the redwoods are supposedly, prehistoric trees, right? The ferns, the birds, everything was big. The fish, right? Everything in the ocean was so huge, so big, so plentiful. They could get to any crazy size. You know what I mean? And why not humans? Why did we depict the Neanderthals with toothpicks trying to stab a 20-foot monster? You know what I mean? Like a T-Rex. So I got that. I got a complete breakdown history of Enki, and there you go. And okay, Nephilim bloodline to other religious beliefs and ancient legends. Thank you, William. That's awesome. That's what I was wondering. Hey, Tim Vogel's here. What's up, Tim Vogel? We're talking about the origin of Bigfoot all the way back to time, when time started, and trying to draw a percentage of people's believability that Bigfoot came from the dawn of time, the Nephilim, so to speak, the Enkidu, the Gilgamesh's buddy, and Esau, and all those times, and drew a line somewhere to become what he is today. And then we're going to discuss maybe next week or something, if that's the case, if we got a pretty good timeline. So this is where I'm at. I'm at right here. Through my physical research, I'm at 75% safely, right? And if this is the case, if we draw our percent, there you go, 75%, right? Me and Woj doing our thing, man.
Jesus.
It's always, we research together, so that's good.
Where I'm at right now, because again, this is a good jumping start of going through all this and having this discussion. I mean, that's and that other 25%. I mean, who knows? I can just keep growing, or it can go backwards.
Well, say just don't have enough facts for that assertion. Well, you could say that. You could say anything you want. So if you're rather than saying 0%, just that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. But I hope it encourages you to do more research, right? To when you lay down at night, instead of watching the news and all the bullshit on there, and everybody hating each other, the stupid humans yelling at each other and all that crap. Go over to I hate to say it, but shitty YouTube. It's a great resource. You go over there and type in what you want to watch. Type in Gilgamesh, type in Nephilim, type in the giants. Something will come up that you can go through and research. And then when I research, obviously I don't just take one video and go, oh, that's got to be true. I go through a ton of them, man. I go till almost till they're gone. Like when Bigfoot hit my life and hit my world, man, I wore that shit out, man. There was nothing on YouTube that I hadn't seen. It was crazy. I couldn't help it. Every night, every day, washing dishes, stretching for softball, man. I got my leg up on the counter, and I'm washing dishes, and I got my screen in front of me. I think I had the Google screen at the time, the Google Home thing, and I was watching anything and everything. You know what I mean? What does Kurt say? Gianni, Wild West of history. So 75%. So we could safely say, even if there's a few people at zero, that we're over 50% as a group, right? We're over 50% as a group. Even Egyptians had written accounts of wild man. Well, there you go. So this is what we're going to do. I like this topic. I think it's something that needs to be brought up more, and I think we should have it. And barring any, scheduling problems, I want to have this same discussion next week at 5:30. But with this discussion, it's got to progress. It's got to progress through you guys, and it's got to progress through me. You have 1 week to read one article that catches your eye, one fact that you can study and find out and bring to the table. 5:30 next week, read about it, find out where we're at. And then what I want to do is where if Nephilim, if, Enkidu, all of them, whatever it is, other ones that you're talking about, giants that you're talking, question everything, right? Egyptians, right? Bring those names of those Egyptian giants, find out where they came from. What can they, I want to know, this is my point to this whole thing, right? Basically, in conclusion, because it's 2 hours right now. I want to know along this timeline, however long it takes us, if we do this for a month and we don't get to that point yet, whatever, right? 5:30 on a Friday ain't so bad. I know people work and things, but whatever, it's about where I'm going to be. Could be a little later. Watch for the thumbnail and hit that notify button on YouTube. I want to know along this timeline, the people, the giants, the mythical creatures you bring me, where along that timeline, where does this ability thing fit in? And what abilities, if any, would they have? What abilities would Enkidu have that are different from a human? When they talk about him being one with nature, why? How is he one with nature? Could he just walk over and grab a piece of bark and eat it? Could he talk to a tree and a tree talk back? You know what I mean? Could he tell the animals what to do? I honestly 100%, and I don't know if I've ever said that. I said it on the lives, but I haven't said it in my studio, I don't think. We were in the woods one day. I connected. I felt I connected. I was, against the tree. I was meditating. I was quiet. My body was slow. We were dealing with dogs and whistles and birds and things like that. And all I got thrown into my head, 100%. And I do have some, psychic abilities, I guess. I'm not a honed medium or anything like that, but, I've had it my whole life. A sensitive is what I always like to say. I just feel like I've graduated a little bit further now by dealing with the people I deal with. So maybe I'm a little bit different than others. I have no idea. And whether you believe in that or not, that's okay. It's real to me. And I've been right a lot. So with, validation from people immediately. So I feel that there's something there. And I heard I control the animals. That's what I heard. And then I believe on one of those lives, if not that live, I asked them to get the dogs to stop barking, and the dogs stopped barking. I think Tyler was on that one, and he said, "Oh my God, they listen." Or Kurt said it. So there's something there. Where do those abilities come into play? So we can go back and say, okay, Gilgamesh had a friend with abilities. Where does that come in? That's what I want to know, because what I'm seeing in the woods, I know some people, some of them aren't from this earth. I know that for a fact. I got pictures that you can't change my mind on that. That's 100% to me. But where does Bigfoot fit into that? Where? Because he's the guardian of the woods and they're in his woods. So he's the steward. We're the stewards, but he's the boss out there. Does he have to be there to make sure everything goes peacefully? Is that why those lights are peaceful to us? Is that why we're not abducted? Is that why we're not attacked? Because the woods are all about peace, prosperity, love, creation, nature, Mother Earth. Is that what's happening? Is that where we're safe? I want to know that. And that's what got me going on this. Because I had to find out if it's them doing what I'm dealing with. Do I believe that it's the first human on a higher frequency, like a medium or a psychic? Why not? Why not? We're all energy. Psychics and mediums have a higher sensitivity to energy and a better understanding of energy. So why couldn't Bigfoot have that, right? So that makes sense. But I'm talking beyond that. I'm talking beyond that. There's other stuff that's being reported. Is it being reported because people want to get rich? Right? Like what is it? Is it real? I've talked to a person today that says no, they're flesh and blood. They live here. They're beings. They're the first beings, and all that woo shit. Get it out of your fucking head. You're crazy. Somebody that deals with them all the time. So that's where I'm at today, folks.
Oh yeah, it's deep. It's a lot of research and a lot of thinking, and just all it is just a lot of we're trying to just put pieces together. It's like Dogman. Everyone talks about the Dogman. Well, you go to Egypt and they show dogs.
Yeah.
We're in there. I forgot what they're called now, but they show dogmen, dog people. So there's a lot. It's William. Right? Yeah, I mean, I believe, the flesh and blood. I believe that they live and die like us. Well, live differently than us, but die like us. But like I agree with Richie. Like, where do they get their abilities and everything else? But I don't know.
I don't know either, man. But I got to say this, guys. We'll do this again. Please join us tomorrow night for Daryl Denton, a very special guest, a very important guest. And I've had some great ones. BMR been here, and I'm truly blessed to have researchers like this willing to sit down with us on this podcast. I never imagined it when I started this over 2 years ago. I didn't even imagine having a studio made for this, beautiful walls up and all these gifts people have given me, and all this knowledge that you guys have given me and shared with me. And I'm truly blessed for that. And I'm grateful for that. I hope you guys are too, because you're blessed too. You're part of this journey. You're part of this research. I've tried to push that on you guys and tell you guys that. I've tried to prove that to you. I hope I have. I hope Wojo, has as well. It's a team effort and a group effort on this end that you guys are very important to what we want to know. The research is forever evolving. But again, I want to treat it like a cold case and go back and bring it to the present. And let's gain all the knowledge we can. My research has evolved. It's changed before my eyes through research. So kind research, peaceful research. Naysayers are okay as long as they deliver it, unlike an asshole, right? Just don't be an asshole. That's all we're asking. If you want to tell people that, they're stupid or they're not a researcher and all this shit and be negative, this ain't the place for you, man. You're not wanted here and you'll be thrown out of here instantly. I don't give a shit about clicks and views and all that crap. I don't. Yeah, I put up PayPal and that stuff, but that's strictly to pay for this and to make sure we have our restream to share it with you and make sure we have the internet on and are able to get tools to research with, or a better phone for you to see better, right? A better microphone to go on the phone so you can hear better. That's what it's about. That's all it's about. So, we ask for that help, and that's very humbling. I'm not a millionaire. I'm barely a hundredaire at this point, but it's just, that we love what we do, and this is part of our life now, and we want you to be part of our life. So stick around and join us. And, all the ones that have been here that know we're as real gets. We don't bullshit. We don't shit on nobody. And if I have the smallest crowd on YouTube, I don't really give a shit. I have the best crowd. So I'm grateful for that. Anybody else out there, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Of course, that YouTube thing, you can like, subscribe, and notify to that. But more importantly, watch out for X, man. If you don't have X yet, again, it's just like YouTube, conglomerate, corporate pigs. You can get a little ghost page and have just you on there and watch us live in the woods, possibly coming Monday, if not definitely Thursday. We got our boy Darren back. He'll be out with us as part of the Boots on the Ground team on at least on Thursday, definitely on Thursday. I'll probably do both if I can, because we haven't been out there so long and not regularly. So please get over there. We will be broadcasting exclusively from X with our investigations. I hope it goes well. I don't know nothing about it, guys. I hope it comes in. If not, I'll jump over to Facebook. I don't know. We're going to try it out. I don't know. And I'm not going to go out there and test it without you. So look out for that. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Bigfoot Banter podcast, Bigfoot Banter, Richie B podcast. We will have Daryl Denton, the Tennessee Bigfoot guy. There's a video out there now, a guest commercial, as I call it, that wonderful Sam made. 9 p.m. You're going to get over and check out Sam tonight. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Sam's Pretty Paranormal podcast. Get over there. I want to see those chats up. I love the chat numbers. That means you're engaging. That means you're having fun. That means you're enjoying yourself on a Friday night. You're respecting what Sam's got to bring with you. And she's got director, producer, movie creator, indie movie creator, Jody Dean, man. Horror movies he makes that are just crazy, man. And Sam, I think you've been killed twice in there and your husband killed once. So go check them out. It's going to be a great conversation. I might ask permission to see if I can jump in and say hi to Jody myself. I have a lot of respect for what he has built. So check us out tomorrow night. But next Friday, we'll be back here. Watch out for that thumbnail as well. A lot going on, as you can hear, baby. Let's go.
Absolutely.
I love you, baby Jack. I love you, mama. I see you, Ella. Check it out, man. We got to get that post up for Ella, by the way. I don't have it. I was looking for it in my Google during the show, and I couldn't find it. So watch for that Ella's Army post coming out there, guys. If you can donate to Ella's Army. Our friend Denio lost his daughter years ago to pediatric cancer, and it's something that we hold near and dear to our hearts. And she's become part of our family as well on the other side. So we love you, Denny, and your family, and we want to support them in any way we can. So if you could help them out in any way, please do. Ella's Army, check it out. Prayers for Ella Facebook page. You'll find the link in there. So check that out. All right. And we'll have that up tomorrow night during the show too. So you guys can click over there and throw $5 in. So for pediatric cancer. Thank you guys so much. Wojo, thank you for putting up with my crazy creative brain and jumping right in when I asked. And I forgot to even say, hey, oh, by the way, I mentioned it, but I didn't make it final.
I had a busy day. I had no idea, but I'll tell you, this stuff blows my mind. I love it. I mean, hey, listen, this is research. This is what I love.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It is. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, we love you, Denny, bro, man. You are family forever, no doubt. Everybody on the side, Tyler, D-Hoot, Sam, William, Curious, Kurt, Gianni. I saw Mooncat. I saw Moon at Noon. I saw Poncho. I saw Gary. I saw Gene, Mary. Oh, my goodness. I saw you all. Previous was here. Everybody.
JT, Exploring with Christy. They're everywhere.
Yeah, baby. No doubt. I want everybody to keep climbing. Mojo, get us out of here because that's what you still do.
That's right. Hey, thank you all for being on here. Remember, we are home of the boom. And buy some socks. Check out the merch store. Yeah, real boom.
I love socks. But check this out on the way out. I'm going to play a video on the way out. I don't usually do that. And then we'll go off the air. Goodbye.
Goodbye.